she'll be presenting the anti to MATS, which is the decision not to build or shut down the Keystone Pipeline.
So I'm going to be talking about Obama's decision to shut down the process of the Keystone Pipeline. Was it a good one? I'm sorry, I say a great one. This is basically a map of the Keystone Pipeline. It starts up here and goes through all the different colors or the different phases of the process. So just really quick, phase 1 has already been completed, and it goes from Hardesty all the way to Illinois, and that was phase 1. Phase 2 goes from Nebraska to Oklahoma. Phase 3 goes from Oklahoma to Texas. And phase 3B goes from Texas to Texas. And at phase 4 was when Obama basically stopped production of the pipeline and decided not to continue with the project. So the pipeline has received extremely little actual government oversight. What I mean by this is, when they came up with the idea to come up with this project, they basically allowed one contractor that was already had financial arrangements with TransCanada to review the proposal. So they just had this one person basically review the whole proposal and make a decision. The oil pipelines leak. The pipeline has a potential to leak all over the United States. The oil isn't even for the United States. So then, U.S. promised to secure a supply of oil to the U.S. However, it's been discussed that they're actually going to export the oil to Asian markets and charge more money for the oil that's being sold in the United States. Jobs. Jobs were proposed in the U.S. and they had promised thousands of positions to be permanent in the United States, and supposedly this was going to create more jobs in the United States, which actually, when it comes down to it, it probably has a potential of only creating hundreds of jobs. Energy independence. So basically, we're actually creating more of a deficiency by spending money on oil production. Instead, we should be focused more on energy, vehicles, and clean power options. Obama is listening to and supporting citizens. Over 10,000 people went to the White House and protested against their concerns and their passion that this should not be done throughout the United States because it had potential risk and for the United States. Tar sands. Tar sands is actually a project that is under the same people that are doing the Keystone Pipeline, and they have already in the first year that they were in production, they had 35 leaks in the United States, and they had to actually temporarily shut it down. The U.S. would get practically nothing from the project. The U.S. faced numerous risks and problems that the world would suffer tremendously from. Environmental issues. A variety of groups have several concerns about the potential and negative impacts, the biggest one being the oil spills. Political issues. The pipeline was one of the top issues in the past for the elections and still continues to be a topic on the upcoming elections. The economy. Is it really necessary to spend billions of dollars to create a couple hundred jobs for people in the United States? Safety matters. In November of 2015, Obama rejected the Keystone Project as the climate change has potential for negative outcomes. Summary. Basically, in the presentation, I discussed the phases and their locations, the reasons why they should not continue with the project, and other important factors. I also want to point out that at the time of the implementation of the pipeline, they had an inspector named Mkt-539, and he was the contractor as well, that was working on the project, and he expressed to everyone how the materials that they were using were very poor and the craftsmanship was not up to par during the construction. And instead of them addressing his issues, they fired him. And that is all. Any questions?
I'll allow one question due to time consideration. No? Okay. No, okay, go ahead.
What do you think the strain would be on the U.S. economy if
I feel like they're throughout time, it started off as they only spent a couple $1 million, and as the years have gone on, it just keeps adding and adding and adding. So they've spent an awful lot of money on it, like billions and billions of dollars. So supposedly with the concept that they were gonna have all these jobs for people across the United States, they promised that they were gonna have like thousands of jobs for people. But according to some statistics, it comes down to that they'll possibly only have maybe a couple hundred jobs that would be permanent.
Okay, thanks.